What up, guys? Just me today. Figured I'd throw up a video. I've had a few people ask online or just kind of comment on some things, asking more about what I've been shooting, my bow, some different things I have on it. Been at the archery shop recently and had some people kind of interested in some things too. So I figured I'd just put it all out there, show you guys what I've been working with. Most recently, got my Ultimate Predator Gear Stalker Decoy. I'll show you that real quick since it's already on the bow. Went ahead with the white-tailed doe just for versatility. I've been working on a few things, but I've been addicted to going after South Texas nilgai lately. And this is something that they're gonna be very familiar with seeing. And I figured it'd work on multiple things. You know, if I get after some axis, potentially even working with hogs. I mean, really anything, elk, whatever, you know, wherever there's deer, this seems to be probably a tried and true setup. Another cool thing is they have, for very little additional cost, a set of antlers you can strap onto the back of it, turn it into a buck for, you know, the rut or whatever. It's got kind of a natural finish on this side, a little bit of discoloration, and then they recommend for long distance, flip it over. It's pretty much solid, bright color that visible from a distance and might get something coming your way. As far as the decoy itself, super happy with how it turned out. It's flexible and maneuverable enough to where it folds up very small, compact, easy to move around. That's my biggest deal, is versatility, trying to use one thing for multiple scenarios. And in this case, you know, I can come on and off, I can throw it in a pack, whatever the case, it folds down pretty small. Also very excited, it fits all my goodies within the shooting window, so I've got plenty of range on my sight. I've got my camera set up, which is right now a GoPro 8, and I've got my hog light on there from Elusive Wildlife, and that is used pretty often, so I try to just leave it on as much as possible. So that's where I'm at right now. Just kind of slap this on. It's not, you know, heavily mounted or spent too much time on it, anything like that. A little bit of flexibility, which really doesn't bother me at this point. You know, if you're in a high wind situation, they make a couple different mounting options, and I probably could have done a better job of applying it to begin with. I've just got the Velcro strap option. But honestly, I don't think it'd be an issue. I kind of like a little bit of give as far as maybe even some realism, but also, you know, if you're getting in and out of a blind, if you're going through some brush, things like that, it's not gonna be a hard snag to where it wants to rip it off and make a bunch of noise. So that's where we're at as far as that. Let me pop this off and I'll show you the rest of what I got going on. All right, got the Stalker decoy off. As simple as literally Velcro. Just peel it off, the front comes off, and then the rest is just Velcro straps that go through the webbing of the riser. I've got my VXR 28-inch here that I've been shooting. It's the only bow I've ever owned, so it's the only bow I know. As you guys have probably seen on my videos, predominantly do quite a bit of hog hunting. So I've got my Elusive Wildlife piglet light here, right now set up for red, and you can both kind of widen it and narrow it down. You can control right here with the buttons, the intensity up and down. So that was one of the first game changers I got once I got my bow set up. Pigs was my go-to as far as practice. So being able to get them at night, which was the most common for me, this was the game changer. So as soon as I got that, I was killing pigs, multiple pigs every week, pretty much, just doing everything I used to. Aside from that, a lot of people are very interested, it seems like, in my camera setups. Just recently moved the GoPro Hero 8 Black that I have down here to, it's basically like a gun rail, ladder rail type setup that comes with the Elusive Wildlife pig light. But it also has it on the bottom. So I've used a few adapters, some things I had from my Layla's rifle and things like that to kind of piece together for the GoPro bracket. I've also had it up here on the top at times, which I'll throw a picture in. Just, I got a clamp from Buc-ee's, which I've got right here. And It works really well for trail cameras. I mean, just about anything with a 1/8 inch MPT. I think it even has a 1/2 inch adapter. And I just basically unbolted it from this clamp, bolted it to where the Matthews quiver bolts to the bow, and was able to first have a swivel mount for my phone, and eventually went ahead and upgraded to the GoPro for some more versatility. Basically, I was a little hesitant to go with the GoPro originally, just because I knew it's obviously a wide angle type camera. So even with the bow being at shorter yardages, it may be difficult to kind of get the view just right as far as seeing the target, what I'm aiming at, things like that. One thing right off the bat that was a game changer going to this from my phone was the stability. So taking a shot, the phone would rattle quite a bit, especially at night. All the cameras are difficult at night to get a really good shot, depending on what your lighting situation is. But the GoPro is hands down way better as far as stability, because it's got the built-in software to kind of account for that and keep a really smooth video, even with it being attached to the bow when you take a shot. So that was huge. Aside from that, like I said, I moved it down here. Mostly that was because of the decoy. So now everything fits within that window. I don't have to move it. It's easily interchangeable here. Another thing that kind of helps with is, whether it was the phone or the GoPro, having it up higher on the riser, when I would first turn it on, the light from it, especially hunting at night, predominantly hunting at night, the light from it would kind of mess up my night vision and make it a little hard to focus, find the peep, things like that. So this should cure 2 of those problems. Aside from that, VXR28, it's got the 70-pound mods, maxed out on the limbs. I've got, the single pin sight I more recently went to just for a little better sight picture, a little less clutter. I've got the Zebros light on it, which I was a little hesitant on. It was a little bit of a splurge. I kind of felt guilty about it. I don't like to spend money unless I'm really going to get use out of it. But with the amount of nighttime hunting that I do, it was critical. I was originally just using kind of the one cheap lights that screw in, and they've got the 3 clicks on them for different dimness settings, and just wasn't thrilled. It got to the point where like I had to kind of be in between clicks, and it would sort of light up, and it was just not consistent enough. So a little bit of money spent on the Zebros, but consistency. You can change the colors. It's rechargeable. Very nice piece. I've got no complaints in regards to that. Got the limb legs. That was another deal that I was feeling a little guilty about. They were like $80 or whatever. And I thought that was a little crazy at first, but I use them all the time. So that was money well spent. I don't even think about that or anything at this point. Aside from that, pretty straightforward. I can walk you through my arrows and nothing too extravagant. I started off with very basic arrows I got with my bow from the shop that I bought it from. Wasn't anything extravagant, just, if I break them, Robin Hood, if I get lucky, whatever the case, wasn't going to be a big deal, big expense. So I've since broken quite a few of those shooting hogs, animals running into trees, rolling over, things like that. Moved up to these Carbon Express, little heavier, things like that as well, but the durability has been pretty good. I see some of the different arrows coming out nowadays with the whole insert outsert and the high FOC and things like that, and different combinations, and it's very tempting and looks good, but I have no reason to replace these. I've only so far, I think, broken one of these on an animal, and it actually didn't break on the animal. I shot a couple raccoons. It stuck in the second one. It passed through the first one. The second one ran off, and I watched it chew through the carbon arrow and actually chewed it into 3 pieces. Haven't broken it on however many hogs I've shot with them. So that's a win in my book. So at this point, I have no reason to change. Broadheads, I've been trying a few different things. Like I've said, mostly get my practice on hogs. So that's kind of, if it works on a hog, it'll just about work on anything else as far as getting a blood trail, penetration, and then just effective and ethical kills, obviously. So I've got a few different ones here, and I usually keep a few different ones in my quiver just in case whatever I'm hunting, just to have some versatility again. So my first now go-to is probably going to be the Ozcut 3-blade. They're actually all going to be Ozcut at this point, mostly for the durability. They're single piece, very sturdy. I've shot animals, I've passed through animals, I've hit trees, I've hit different things, and haven't had any structural issues like I've had with other mechanical or single solid blades. And so this is kind of what I prefer. Again, you know, with hogs being the primary hunting species, and then trying to move to different species from there, nilgai, deer, elk, things like that. I think this kind of covers all the bases, and that's what I look for the most, is trying to cover all the bases, be as versatile and functional as possible. So this is their 3-blade Elite. It's a straight cut 3-blade. Again, solid, straight cut, nice piece. This is probably my go-to as far as both penetration and creating a nice hole and getting some blood trail. So I really like that one so far. I've had some good luck with hogs. I've also got the 2-blade, a little bit of wear on it just from use, being out in some rain, using it on some different animals. This one's probably passed through at least a few animals, and just continue to reuse, put it right back in the quiver and keep using it. This is like maximum penetration. I mean, it's cutting through hogs like butter, doesn't even slow down, and continues to go, you know, 20 yards or more after the fact. So I like these, especially on the big game stuff or the tougher hide animals, where I just need to have the flexibility to take more different shots, as far as, you know, if I run up on an animal that happens to be quartered a certain way or a bad angle or whatever the case, I know I can slip this in a lot more places and still have a very high effectiveness as far as a quick ethical kill. One of the first ones I tried out was the Hurricane, mostly because it looks freaking awesome. It's almost like a helical cut in a way. It's got kind of that twisted Hurricane shape. It's a 3-blade, single bevel, and this one's probably not going to get you quite the penetration, especially on the tough hide animals like hogs. You know, I've had to stick in a couple. I've had to go through a couple, not pass through, but where it's sticking out the other side. And the nice part about this, though, is it's going to tear a hole. It's going to leave a blood trail for sure. Make a good shot with this, and you're not going to have any issues tracking. I've shot it straight through a hog from overhead, went behind the shoulder, came out the chest, and was the best blood trail I've ever had. It was not an issue at all. The animal maybe went 30 yards, and it was a good sized boar. So very happy with that as well. A little pick and choose, you know, is probably not something I'd use on a long shot on a hog or a nilgai or something that's a tougher animal, but definitely for tracking related things and any of the softer hide animals, deer, elk, whatever the case, not a bad option for sure. Still just as durable as anything else, gives you that twisting motion as it enters and just creates a wound channel. So I like that. I've got the nocturnal lights, and again, mostly doing night hunting, things of that nature. It's invaluable as far as tracking, seeing which direction the animal runs, things like that, which is kind of the hardest part. So that's where I'm at right now. Not too much more to it. And so far it's been working good for me. If you've got any questions, feel free to put a comment on YouTube. I'm getting better about seeing those and responding to them. And I have no issues providing as much info as I have. Not the most experienced by any means, but try to stay as active as I can. So that's what we've got right now. And it's been working for me. So again, any questions, let me know. Please like, subscribe, and we'll keep things flowing. Thanks, guys.